بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Brothers, sisters, viewers, welcome back to another live episode of Ask the Alim live on British Muslim TV. Today is Friday 18th of October 2024 and subhanallah, what year are we in? Do we know? I've always asked this question. On what Islamic month? Rabiul Thani. What's the date? What's the year? See if anybody WhatsApps in. So today, I'm going to talk about a particular subject, like always, but let me give a bit of a feedback in terms of what this show is all about. We have a lot of new viewers from all around the world, especially on our social media platforms. So welcome to you all. Ask the Alim is all about you, your questions, your suggestions, your recommendations. And do call in, do WhatsApp your questions on 07950797017 is the number to call. And do call the studio hotline number 01924231083. The numbers are at the bottom of your screen. Ask the Alim, live with me every Friday, UK British time is 9 p.m. till 10 p.m. The first segment of the show, I won't be taking any calls or questions or WhatsApp messages. What I will do is talk about a particular subject, something that's theming, trending, something that is important to us as a Muslim Ummah in terms of the Islamic calendar, and something that I want to get off my chest, inshallah. But today I do want to talk about news and fake news, actually. But let's just talk about one thing of importance that's burning inside us all. Gaza, Palestine, Al-Ardul Muqaddas. And yes, you may think, not again. No, I will not be silent and not stop talking about the Holy Lands. The first Qibla, the land of the prophets, the Anbiya alayhimus salam. And the land where for the last 70 plus years, 74, 76 years, it's besieged by land, by air, by sea. Gaza, known for many humanitarian aid agencies as the world's biggest open-air prison. Besieged by land, by air, by sea. Apartheid regime. This is something that we must address and talk about. And qawlul haqq, saying the truth. Brothers, sisters, viewers, coming back to my particular topic of choice is about fake news and what the Quran. And again, I will talk about the Quran and the Sunnah, the teachings, the traditions, the sayings, the actions, the prohibitions, the encouragements and the virtues addressed by our Prophet ﷺ to us and relayed to us by his companions. SubhanAllah, Allah be pleased with them all. Ameen Ya Rabbal Alameen. The Quran, let's look at the Quranic verse. First and foremost about news itself and what the khabar entails. Khabar meaning news. Or naba, as it's mentioned in the Quran. بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إذا جاءكم فاسق بنبأ فتبينوا. Allah is giving us a command. تبينوا, tabayyun, verifying it. And the word used here described when you receive news from a fasiq, from a sinning person, an open sinner. This is described, bita Muslim, here, fasiq. There are many Muslims. They will be classed as Muslims, but they will be openly, in public, sinning. And this person will be classed as a fasiq. Here the Quran doesn't say kafir or any other faith-based person, but a fasiq. Now, fake news, and I say talking about fake news and fake information, what does Allah say to us? Do tabayyun. Verify. Verify. And I'm talking about right now what's not just going on in the Middle East, especially in Gaza, in Palestine, what the mass media wants us to believe, and I say wants us to believe. If you look at World War II, for example, and this is no hidden secret, openly now, historians and many others will say a lot of the war at the time against the Germans or Nazis was won by fake news. Yes, they said this, they said this, and what happened? They were on the radio airwaves, they were saying things, or this place, or this place, or this town, or this front, this base has been captured, or has been taken, or has been bombed, or has been taken into the Allied forces. What would happen? People around that area from the enemies. Enemy at that time was what? The Nazis. They would be worried, what's happened here? We were so many, or this was our stronghold. We must retreat, or we must go back, or we must regroup. Yet it wasn't the case. Or they wouldn't send supplies, or they wouldn't do certain things. And they would be defeated. Coming back to this dunya right now, in this world, and coming back to the deen, our religion, Islam, first and foremost, we have this miraculous gadgets, and that talk to us, that speak, that gives us AI. And also, what happens is, we are receiving on all forms of social media platforms. I'm not going to mention any right now. Whatever your favorite is, or whatever you are using, whatever news channel you are following, and what happens? You've seen something, and you've already, without checking, pressed the forward or like or share button. Isn't that what happens? It does. And now, what have you shared? Is it a fake hadith? A fake? Is it a made-up hadith? Is it the Quran? Is it the Quranic verse? Or is it something from another faith that they've made up to look like Quran? And I say, yes, made up. There's those who say they are Muslim, yet they don't believe in Islam or the final Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, peace and blessings be upon him. And we think this is Quran, this is authentic, or this is something that our beloved Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, said. On various platforms, various groups, without verifying, without checking, who sent it? Is it a scholar? Is it reference? Have you checked? Verse number, surah number. Have you checked? Yet, what are we doing? We've become serial forwarders. Like and share. This is especially in relation to deen, religion, Islam, and hadith, Quran and hadith. Unless you know this is from an authentic source, don't share everything, especially on your deen. Now, coming to the dunya, the worldly affairs. I've talked about our beloved Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Holy Quran, the religion. Coming back to the worldly affairs. Sometimes we share without verifying. Sometimes we share. Recently, in my own community, it wasn't a fake, it was mistake. Call it fake. Somebody shared something. It was the wrong person. Wrong person. They shared funeral announcement of a person. Wrong name. Muhammad Ahmad with the same surname from so-and-so area. Passed away. What would have happened to the family? Daughter, son, the wife, whoever. When they saw this or read this, he's at work, let me phone him. Oh, he's at the shop, I'm going to the shop. What happened? You see, these things have a repercussion. This is just one thing. I'm giving you an example of sharing news that's not verified, but let's go even bigger. There's now character assassination. There's blames. There's something that someone has done, a tuhma, false accusation. Oh, he's done this. He sells drugs. He steals. He's done so-and-so crime. Or she's done X, Y, and Z. Allahu Akbar. Yet, you don't know, I don't know. But you start sharing this. We've not even spoke to the guy, don't know the guy, not mentioned about, don't know anything. Why are you sharing this? Is it of any benefit to you? In your deen or dunya, in your worldly affairs or religious affairs? Is it getting you closer to Allah? Certainly not. Is it giving you monetary value? No. So why are you sharing this? If it was something of an ibadah act, janazah time, janazah salah, no problem. If it's authenticated and verified, if you know the person. But if it's something of a attribute, and especially something that is negative, false, maybe, and even if it's something sin, bad, stay quiet. Why do you have to share this? Why do you have to talk and gossip about this? My brothers, sisters, viewers, I'm going to continue about this particular topic, especially in terms of what we are being told and how we are being manipulated, brainwashed, I say. Messages, subliminal messages put into our heads, especially with the AI and the technology that these magical gadgets have. So be careful. So the lesson from this is verify, look at the Quranic verse, talk about this a bit more, inshallah, after this very short break. Don't go anywhere. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Sainsbury's? Are we made of money?
Hey Sainsbury's, explain it, will you?
Well, the same effort we put into our baking
goes into matching prices.
Remarkable. We've actually come in under budget.
Get it now?
Already got it.
Sainsbury's. Good food for all of us.
Our generation's risk of illnesses, like measles and whooping cough, is rising.
If we're not vaccinated,
We're not protected.
and could get seriously ill. Risking lifelong disabilities.
Are your child's vaccines up to date?
I'm in. Now, you ready for a good day?
He was a scientific hypothesis. She was a clinical study. And the future breakthrough that could cure her is closer than ever. With our research, we can keep saving lives like hers. Donate now to turn science fiction into reality.
Sainsbury's? Are we made of money?
Hey Sainsbury's, explain it, will you?
well. The same effort we put into our baking
Goes into matching prices.
Remarkable. We've actually come in under budget.
Get it now?
Already got it.
Sainsbury's. Good food for all of us.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, brothers, sisters, viewers. Welcome back after that really short break. If you're just joining us, welcome to Ask the Alim live on British Muslim TV. I'm live here every Friday, 9 p.m. till 10 p.m. inshallah. And we're into our second segment. I will be taking some of your questions on WhatsApp and your phone calls. So do bear with me, inshallah. I do have some things to go through. I will answer some of the questions that I already have, and I want to talk about the topic I was talking about earlier on, which is about fake news. And I talked about the deen, the religion, Islam, what we need to do as individuals, especially in this day and age, with reference to these gadgets, the groups, the social media platforms we're on, and sharing Quranic ayats or hadiths and maybe stories of the Salaf Salihin, pious predecessors, the Sufis, the Awliyas, and what it means to us. Verify. That's all I can say. In terms of the dunya, if it's of benefit to your deen, then share. If it's saving somebody from a potential harm, potential rapist, potential drug dealer, potential thief, burglary, whatever it is, then share. But if it's gossip, if it's hearsay, if it's tuhma, if it's false accusations, stay away. Stay away. And coming back to the third point I want to talk about is the social media platforms and the news in general, be it about current affairs, be it about politics, be it about Gaza, Palestine, maybe Lebanon. Such lies are being spread, and I say this. Such fake news, such fake commentators, such fake experts in the field, such fake individuals who have maybe they say that they are from certain areas, but upon research, upon checking, they're not from that area. They weren't born there. They haven't got any knowledge, or they haven't experienced anything. It's just nonsense what they're saying. My plea to you, Muslims around the world, whatever you can do for the Ummah, especially Gaza, do that. Talk about it. Educate the children. Educate those around you, or what it means to us, especially about Masjid al-Aqsa and what's going on realistically. Secondly, petition, protest, talk, write to your members of parliament or MPs or whoever it is. Also, I say this clearly, there's certain products, certain things that are enabling what? Certain harm, certain goods, certain individuals. Abstain. What's wrong with you? More importantly, besides doing all of this, the biggest thing, look at ourselves. Me, I will look in the mirror. You all look in the mirror. What have we individually done? Okay, no one's telling you, take a flight, next flight. You can't fly there anywhere. But you are in, let's say, America, Canada, Middle East, Africa, Asia, wherever you are. Europe, UK, British Muslims addressing you. Have we read 5 daily prayers today? Have we connected with the Quran? Have we adopted the Sunnah? Have we sent salutations upon the Prophet? Peace and blessings be upon him. Sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Today was Friday, gone now. How many salutations did you do? How many times in a day do we do istighfar? Khatimun Nabiyyin, the seal of the prophets, Rahmatul lil Alameen, the mercy upon mankind. sallallahu alayhi wasallam used to do istighfar himself 70 marra, 70 times or more a day. He was free from sin. Yet he used to do what? Repentance, istighfar, asking Allah for forgiveness for shortcomings. Me, including you, we're no angels, we're human beings. We're no prophets. We're not the best of the best in terms of companions. No, we're far from it. We sin every day, night and day. Where is our remorse? And then, where is the change in our lives? What have we changed? We've seen what we are seeing. A lot of it is to do with our deeds and our actions and our, I would say this, not me. Quran says this. ظهر الفساد في البر والبحر بما كسبت أيدي الناس. Because of the human beings and their actions, their behavior, their deeds. So my brothers, especially the Ummah, please get up, read 2 rakats of nafil, tahajjud, make dua to Allah, be punctual on your salah, do your dhikr, do what you can in terms of the worldly things, political pressure, protesting, writing, all these things that are doing, and don't say it doesn't make a difference. Of course it makes a difference. We are seeing what kind of a difference it is making in terms of the stocks, the shares, the markets. The world is waking up. And more than ever before, in the Western world, I say, so many people looking and reading the Quran, researching Islam. What is this? What happened? Why is it so significant? What is the Holy Lands? What is it to Muslims? They are reading, they are researching, and they are looking at what's happening to the people of Gaza and are in awe and shock. I'll stop there, inshallah, and take some questions. Inshallah, answer some questions. Maybe at the end of the show, I'll do this brief reminder, inshallah. Okay, quick question here. Ruling on this is on parents. Parents not allowing their daughter. So, a friend has asked, no mentioning any names, inshallah. My friend's parents have told her that she can't talk to her husband. She is at her parents' house. They've had an argument. She has come to her parents' house. But they have told her not to talk to him, meaning her husband. The question is it forbidden? Is it haram for my friend to talk to her husband behind the parents' back? Couple of reasons. She doesn't want for him to think that she doesn't care about him, or she doesn't want him to think that she doesn't want the issue to be resolved, or she doesn't want him that he's to blame, etc., etc. So let's look at this, inshallah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. All praise to Allah. The answer to this, first and foremost, the parents should not be obeyed. Yes, people might be concerned. Parents should not be obeyed, preventing the daughter to not talk to the husband. Scholars, ulama, fuqaha have stated that parents, it's not obligatory to listen to them. It's not absolute. It's not 101%. There are things. It's restricted. listening to their parents is restricted. And first and foremost, circumstances. Common sense is very important here. And although not very common, but here, let me say this. Sometimes we have these cultural things take over us, or ego. You can't talk to him unless he comes here and apologizes. You can't talk to him unless he comes with his parent. This is going to further exacerbate the situation. It's not going to resolve this. Things happen between a husband and wife all the time, every time. Having that kind of mentality will maybe cause friction and separation. My advice to this is that she should what? Go and maybe phone in secret or in talk, meet, resolve the issue. Parents will be parents. Yes. But and if there is harm, there's violence, there's physical, mental abuse, and maybe other things, intoxicants, as we see ourselves nowadays finding many individuals. And then the parents have said, no, you can't go to him. You can't talk to him. He's given you a black eye. He's broke your arm. He's taking drugs. Use your sense. In these kind of scenarios, use your sense. Advise your friend to what you think is best. But again, if there is nothing, if it's just an argument like you've said here, it's just an argument. All these things didn't take place. Parents will be parents. They will love and care and want to protect their daughter. Understand that? And they will have their reasons. But if it's just this small argument, which we see nowadays, I see this all the time. I ask these questions. Does he take drugs? Has he hit you? Has he been abusing you? Is he doing something really naughty, harmful, haram? Is he harming your children, you? No. Then what was it about? Oh, it was about the takeaway, the restaurant. Allah give us hidayah, ameen, ya Rabbal Alameen. Brothers, sisters, bear with me, answer some more of your questions. Going for a really short break, inshallah. Back after this very short break. Assalamu alaikum.
Sainsbury's? Oh, he made her money.
Hey Sainsbury's, explain it, will you?
Well, the same effort we put into our baking
Goes into matching prices.
Remarkable. We've actually come in under budget.
Get it now?
Already got it.
Sainsbury's. Good food for all of us.
Our generation's risk of illnesses, like measles and whooping cough, is rising.
If we're not vaccinated, we're not protected. And could get seriously ill. Risking lifelong disabilities. Are your child's vaccines up to date?
I'm in. Now, you ready for a good day?
He was a scientific hypothesis. She was a clinical study. And the future breakthrough that could cure her is closer than ever. With our research, we can keep saving lives like hers. Donate now to turn science fiction into reality.
Sainsbury's? Oh, he made her money.
Hey Sainsbury's, explain it, will you?
well, the same effort we put into our baking
Goes into matching prices.
Remarkable. We've actually come in under budget.
Get it now?
Already got it.
Sainsbury's. Good food for all of us.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brothers, sisters, viewers, welcome back after that very short break. We're into our third segment of the day. You're watching, if you're just joining, Ask the Alim on British Muslim TV. We're live across all our social media platforms all around the world. Welcome to you to join in on 07950 797 017. WhatsApp your questions. I will try and answer most, if not all, of your questions as we go along. Do like, do share, do comment. I'm sure our teams behind the scenes will pass your comments and suggestions onto me, and I will try my utmost best to talk about something that you've suggested at the beginning of every show. Just before the break, we were talking about marriage and circumstances. I have a question come up about talaq, about divorce. But before I go into that, I'm going to talk about burial rights and some cultural aspects there. The question is, if a man dies, is his wife allowed to see him before burial? If a man dies. And if a woman dies, is the man allowed to see her before the burial? Let me just walk through this, inshallah. When a man passes away, immediately the wife is in iddah, is in a mourning period. The iddatul wafat is 4 months, lunar months, and 10 days, not 3. Remember this. People get this confused a lot of the time. Some scholars are actually, in some aspects, considered to be still in a marriage until her iddah period, meaning 4 months and 10 days, which is that of the death. She is considered still in her marriage or in the iddah period, hence, and thus it is permitted for the wife to see the husband's face, to touch him, and to a certain extent, some scholars in certain circumstances have wrote, even bathe him if there was nobody else. If there was nobody else. There are some cultures, there are some traditions, and there are some miscommunications or misunderstandings and interpretations of the Quran and Sunnah. And culturally more this, that's it. Husband has died, wife has no rights. And unfortunately, even after that, even forget the husband and seeing the face, astaghfirullah, Allah forbid. Allah forgive us as an ummah. The rights to his wealth, to his house, to his assets, all are taken off. All are taken. This is dhulm. This is injustice. Very wrong. In the scenario where the wife has passed away, according to Imam Abu Hanifa, rahimahullah, Allah have mercy, as soon as her soul leaves her body, the bond of marriage is terminated. As such, he will not be able to bathe his wife. He can't touch his wife. He can't bathe his wife. The sisters, the brothers, the fathers of the wife, they won't, the brothers won't, but the sisters and other sisters will. But they, the men, the brothers and others, will then lower her down into the grave. Fuqaha, the jurists, the ulama, they state it is permitted. It is permitted for the husband to see the ex-wife's face it is also permitted for him to assist in terms of lowering the body in the grave, providing, and this is the shart, this is the condition, he does not touch the body directly. Women, the wife's relatives, will have the responsibility of this bathing. Now, coming back to this in terms of funeral rights and responsibilities, this is one of the fara'id, compulsory acts for the ummah, for the community, for that town, for that city. Just recently someone passed away in my locality, has nobody from, I'm not going to even mention the country's name. He's been living here, working here in a restaurant or takeaway, and he passed away, unfortunately. No relatives. The person didn't have enough, or nobody knew really. They didn't have money. Where are they going to get the money for the tajheez, takfeen, as they say, and tadfeen, dafan, burial, the bathing, the shrouding? Here in the UK costs thousands, up to £4,000-5,000. It's the farz upon that community to do this. First thing. Second thing, in terms of these rulings and cultural practices, I say to the Muslim ummah around the world, especially, let go of your cultures and traditions. Look at the sunnah, look at the fuqaha, look at the scholars like Imam Abu Hanifa rahimahullah, who accompanied the tabi'een and tabi'een, Ridwanullahi alayhim ajma'een, rahimahumullah. That was the time. We are 1400 years plus on from that era. Now, we say, we know better, astaghfirullah. We say, our culture is better, astaghfirullah. The deen is all encompassing. The deen is encompassing all cultures, all traditions. And it prohibits certain cultures, certain traditions. The deen is right, it's the middle path. It looks at all cultures, but takes away this, takes away this, takes away this culture. Why? Because it's sometimes, not sometimes, doing injustice. Just after, this is talking about tajheez and takfeen and tadfeen, the burial things. But to the extent, I'll go one step further, many cultures, especially in the South Asia, Allah forgive us, Arab was, if you look at the time before our beloved Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, peace and blessings be upon him, how they did dhulm, how they oppressed women. They were a commodity. They weren't even classed as citizens or human beings or equal. Astaghfirullah. Now coming back right now here in this time and age where the deen has been established, the Quran is established, the Sharia is established, what do? We don't give the right of inheritance. The husband has passed away, what will happen? The husband's brothers will come, maybe the father if he's still alive, or somebody else, uncles, brothers. They'll take the wealth, they'll take the property, they'll take the land, they'll take the factory, they'll take the building, and go. Cast them out. And the yatims and the poor widow is left to fend for herself. This is reality now, 2024, 1446 years after Hijrah. This is reality now. Wake up, O Ummah. This is why the nusra, the madad, the help of Allah does not come when we are not acting upon the deen. Allah forgive us. Ameen ya Rabbal Alameen. Moving on very quickly, inshaAllah. A question about divorce, but this is another question about maybe something more, I'd say, Western. I say Western. It happens in the West a lot. Not a lot, but it's there. Donating or receiving. It's actually receiving and donating from breast milk from milk banks. Some people may have not heard of this, but it's there. It's there. So, milk banks from breast milk. And subhanallah, let's look at what Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, or what the fuqaha, should I say, excuse me there, what the fuqaha have said to us, the jurists. And in terms of our beloved sallallahu alayhi wasallam, in terms of foster relationships, if one individual has been breastfed, not by his own mother, but somebody else, that establishes foster relationship, not in the sense of what we deem it out of fostering. Fostering can be done in this country and many other countries when the child is 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe more. That's not a foster relationship according to Sharia. Fostering is when that particular woman who is not his mother has breastfed that child. What happens after that? It restricts marriages among the individuals who otherwise would be what? Halal, permitted, marriage. No, now what has happened? Oh, this is the foster mother. She has maybe 3 children, 4 children. We can't. Now, they can't now what? Get married. They are brothers. A foster parent is prohibited from marrying their foster child. All these things apply. I'll come back and explain a bit more on this, inshallah, after this very short break.
Sainsbury's? Oh, he made of money?
Hey Sainsbury's, explain it, will you?
Well, the same effort we put into our baking
Goes into matching prices.
Remarkable. We've actually come in under budget.
Get it now?
Already got it.
Sainsbury's. Good food for all of us.
Our generation's risk of illnesses, like measles and whooping cough, is rising.
If we're not vaccinated, we're not protected. And could get seriously ill. Risking lifelong disabilities. Are your child's vaccines up to date?
I'm in. Now, you ready for a good day?
He was a scientific hypothesis. She was a clinical study. And the future breakthrough that could cure her is closer than ever. With our research, we can keep saving lives like hers. Donate now to turn science fiction into reality.
Sainsbury's? Oh, he made of money?
Hey Sainsbury's, explain it, will you?
well, the same effort we put into our baking
Goes into matching prices.
Remarkable. We've actually come in under budget.
Get it now?
Already got it.
Sainsbury's. Good food for all of us.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمد ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Brothers, sisters, viewers, welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is the last and final segment of the day. Ask the Alim is what you're watching, inshallah, and British Muslim TV is the channel you are watching. On all across your social media platforms, do like, do share. I know we have viewers all around the world. And do comment. I'm sure our teams behind the scenes will let us know. So we were just talking about fostering and foster parents and what it entails according to Sharia, according to Islam, according to the path of Islam, inshallah. And the question arose from what? Donating or receiving breast milk from banks. Generally, as a rule of thumb, I say, pooling method. The pooling method involves a combination of mothers or donors, should I say, in a single storage vessel. This, in Islam, would be prohibited to use. Why? It would then, what's the relationship with that child? Who's the mother? Who's the breastfeeding mother? According to Sharia, according to the Hadith. Relationships will then be made and no marriage is then allowed. And if this is ambiguous, no one knows. If there is one individual pool, one individual vessel, donor that is stored separately and doesn't mix different women's, then this facilitates and identifies the foster mother, then it's a different thing. However, under Sharia, both methods of raise concerns because the donor is not informed of which child is receiving the milk. For this reason alone, this would not be permissible. However, al-daruriyat, if there is a dire need, such as war, famine, a child that is in need for a donation for medical reasons, otherwise this child is going to die, there's famine, then maybe you can request the milk or identifies the donors. But even then the relationships will still stand, and nikah with them, donors, children, meaning marriage, will not be permissible. Allah knows best. Ameen ya Rabbal Alameen. Okay, moving on inshallah. And I do want to quickly summarize what I was talking about in terms of the first segment, which was fake news and the things that we are maybe brainwashed, fed, and the subliminal messages sent to us through the social media platforms and news channels about what's going on. But let me answer one question very quickly, inshallah. Zakat. Zakat and zakat payable for children. Many parents set up trusts, set up savings accounts, set up certain things for their children. Children maybe 4, 8, 10, 12. They've not reached the age of puberty and understanding, but that trust has grown. That savings account has grown. That has now equated to zakat. Nisab, meaning that money is applicable if it was a sane, mature, elderly, understanding person. They had that much wealth. They have to give what? Charity. So is zakat payable for a parent upon gifts, assets gold, silver, trusts, savings accounts for the children? That's the question. The answer is very simple. If you have set aside that money, that gold, that silver, that trust, that savings account, and you've given up your right, although you still have the rights as a parent until the child reaches maybe, let's say, 18 or 21 or whatever the clause is from the bank or trust that is there. But you've given it up. And you have that sincere intention and that conviction, and you've put it there. Something was to happen to you as well, that this is belonging to this child, this child, this child. And it is a amana, it's a trust by you. Then that money will not be zakatable. Why? The condition, the prerequisite for zakat is being mature. One of the things, being sane and mature. Aqil, balig. Yet this child is only 4 or 8 or 10. Not reached the responsibility of dispensing and giving zakat yet. Once they have, once they've reached bulugh, once they've reached that shu'ur, understanding, responsibility, the jewelry, the money, the gold, the silver, they will give zakat on this. You don't have to give zakat. I hope that answers the question, inshallah. Brothers, sisters, viewers, this is something I'm going to talk about right now very quickly. One of the hadiths, one of my dear colleagues asked me and said, I quoted this hadith. I didn't quote this. I did maybe talk about this, but one of my friends' father passed away recently at the age of 94. And there is a narration, subhanallah, and I'll talk about this narration. The hadith or the narration reported by several sahabas, companions of the beloved Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, Allah be pleased with him. Allah be pleased with them, and salutations of the Prophet. It is recorded with in many hadith collections with slight variations in wordings. Musnad Ahmad and Hafiz Hajar ibn al-Asqalani rahimahullah has mentioned seven Sahaba companions have reported this. And he's reported this, mentioned the chain in Bayhaqi, as is the best of narrations. Let's look at this narration. No one reaches 40 in Islam except that Allah protects that person from certain diseases like madness, leprosy, etc. When he is 50, Allah makes his reckoning, makes easy his reckoning, his hisab. So when he dies, his reckoning is made easier for him. When he or she reaches 60, Allah grants him or her repentance. Allahu Akbar, big thing. And when they reach 70, Allah loves him and the inhabitants of the heavens love him. Somebody who is 70. When that person reaches 80, Allah accepts good deeds. Allah accepts his good deeds and overlooks his sins. Allahu Akbar. When he reaches 90, Allah forgives his past and future sins. He is named as the prisoner of Allah on earth and is granted intercession for forgiveness for his family. Allahu Akbar. This is the hadith of virtue of reaching old age. Allah give us the virtue of all those things, of all those ages, of 40, of 50, of 60, many things there. More importantly, Allah give us the ability to value our time and life, whether we are 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, or maybe 10 or 20, subhanAllah. Many youngsters watch this program. So, just to conclude with what I talked about earlier on, and the Quranic verse about receiving news from a fasiq, from an open sinner. Allah commands me and you and to verify this news. So much fake news being circulated, so much nonsense is being, I would use worse and vulgar words being on these news channels about Palestine, about Gaza especially, and telling us fake stories. Don't follow these channels and fake news agencies, first thing. The most important message is about the Quran and about our deen and about us becoming serial forwarders, sharing and liking, especially about Quran and Hadith, where you don't know where it's come from, whether it's reference, whether it's source, whether it's a sheikh, whether it's a scholar. It might be somebody, or you've just copied and pasted it from a website, and who knows what that website is. There are so many enemies of Islam creating these websites. Be careful, my brothers, sisters, viewers. I will see you all, inshallah, next week, same time, same place, inshallah, on Friday, 9 till 10 p.m. Ila al-liqa, my brothers, sisters. Make sure you pray for me, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.